What's up, No Advisory fam? It's your girl, Trap Seed. You already know what I'm here to do today, give another great interview. Today, we have a very special guest with us, none other than our trainee of the night, y'all. We let me tell you a little background story, okay? I got invited to this dope, event, and it was, this art house, right? If you're in Charlotte, check out the art house. Super dope place. Definitely artistic, definitely creative. Some great artists there. So I went there one night. She performed, so I'm handing out flyers. You should definitely come to our training day. Shout out to No Advisory Training Day that we host every Monday at Mooney's. And I was like, you have to come through. So she came through. Right? And when she came through, y'all, she delivered. I mean, she outspit every nigga there.
Oh, come on.
The night was over. I didn't want to hear nothing else. I can go home. Just let me leave now. I'm done. My mission is accomplished for the night. I done heard one good artist and I'm good. So she came through. She kept coming. She was consistent. And she even bought people. Even got paid. Come on. So I was like, yeah, you know what? This some talent right here. So, she deserved it. She became trainee of the night. She came through. She delivered. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. Please tell us who you are, where you from, and what the fuck you do.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, I'm Lockstarr. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I moved out here about 16, 17 years ago, so I've been here for a long time. And basically what I do is I work on a Lockstarr brand. I'm a visionary for my own brand. And the thing about me is that with music, it's bigger than me. Some people do it for fame. Some people do it for notoriety. I'm doing it not only for my city, but for other kids out there that needs an outlet and they want to perform and they want to be an artist and they don't necessarily know where to start.
Right.
So this, for me, is building blocks to teach somebody else.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's what this is all about.
How did Lockstarr come about? If you don't how did you become Lockstarr?
I always liked doing music and shit. When I was growing up in Brooklyn, right, they would do ciphers and shit. And one day I was like, I'm gonna just go ahead and spit. And I did it. And the dudes was like, that was decent. You should keep working on it. And it became a thing. I kept doing it. And then when I moved down here, I got reintroduced to it again. Shout out to Kojak the Black Mac. He put me on. He put me back in the studio. And then that's when I really started honing in on my skill, really working shit out, getting it done. And now I just can't damn stop. I can't stop until I see we get to a different place, a different platform. And not just me, but all the artists coming out of North Carolina. We have so much talent here. It's ridiculous.
And there's definitely a spotlight on Charlotte right now, especially with having some of the hottest artists to come out of North Carolina right now. It's just amazing to see all the opportunities that brings about for other artists.
Right.
So with that being said, who would you say are some of your biggest influences coming up?
Oh, Notorious B.I.G., of course, Royce the 5'9". Basically anybody in Slaughterhouse, everybody that was in that rap group I loved. Tupac, Nas, Jay-Z. Remy Ma. Those are the people that I listen to coming up. And they made me feel like if you ain't spitting, then you shouldn't be, just don't say nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's nowadays people got lax on the lyricism, but growing up listening to them always made me feel like if you're not trying to get to the next level, then don't even do it.
So I really want to know, out of all the songs and all the projects that you've put out so far in your career, what would you say is your most favorite song or your most favorite project?
My most favorite song is New Clothes. It is such a basic, it's not really basic, it's an intricate description of who I am as a lyricist and as a person. I'm proud to say I ain't never sold drugs.
Right.
That's what the song is basically about. I'm not a trapper. I just rap. I really do this rap thing. I'm really creative. And I don't have to try to sell street cred in order to make myself more profitable or to have my likeness be put out there more. It's just cool to be you. You ain't got to do all that extra shit. And that's what New Clothes is basically saying. Man, I ain't out here in the street. I ain't trying to do all this crazy shit. I just really like to rap. And this is how I do it.
You definitely have a different mindset than, a lot of other artists that I've interviewed, and I really admire that because it's just refreshing to come and interview somebody that's not talking about, oh, I grew up in the streets, I sold drugs, life was hard. Like, we get it. Everybody has a story, but it's refreshing to see, like you said, you don't have to sell street cred to be successful, to be credible, and for people to listen to you.
No. I did grow up in the street, and I was bad as hell, and I had some terrible things happen to me, and we were poor. We didn't have food sometimes. Right. But the thing about it is, if I know how that feels and I know what that experience is like for me, I can't go out there and glorify it like it's great. When you're really in it, you know it's not great. Yeah. So glorifying it is not something that I'm even interested in doing. And then I don't want to become a product of that environment. You know what I mean? You could always choose to be better. And that's what I'm choosing. And I do that every time I focus on, the music and just try to just make a way, not only for myself, because it starts with you, but then you want to turn the shit into a movement where you can include other people and unify your people and just do something greater. Right. The vision always has to be bigger than yourself.
Dropping gems. Can we get a thumbnail for that? Ooh. So, with all of that being said, what's the best piece of advice that you've given? And on the flip side to that, what's one piece of advice that you would give to somebody?
The best piece of advice I was given by King Carter. And he always said to me, you can either be an artist or you can be a brand. And choosing to be in the lane of being a brand as opposed to an artist gives you a little bit more control about what you can do. If you operate like a business, ain't nobody going to approach you like no artist. They're going to approach your ass like a business. Businesses do mergers. You're not going to come to no artist on some bullshit. You might come to an artist on some bullshit, but you ain't going to come to no business on no bullshit because you already can see that they've built themselves already. And that was one of the best things he ever told me. Like, don't just get out there and try to get the music out. Get a brand out there. Build something that you could actually stand on that could be worth something. And in reference to that, like, as far as the advice that I could give other artists that's starting out, man, just stay true to your damn self. Just stay true to yourself. I mean, that is the best way to captivate an audience, is to stay true to you. You can't, who else can you be? Well, people can tell when you're not being authentic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the best thing I can suggest right now. We need more originality. I'm tired of hearing the same shit over and over again. We need more people that's cool with themselves and have a lot of self-esteem in who they are. And we need to see more of that.
I do want to ask you 2 more questions. Yeah. But after I ask you these questions, I really feel the need to do this. I'm going to play a freestyle beat, old school, of course, and I want you to rip it. You don't have to do the whole song. You can stop whenever. All right. But I just want these people to see the talent that you have, okay?
Yeah.
So my first question for you is, who's your favorite female MC?
That would be Remy Ma. Okay. That would be Remy Ma. She is awesome. I mean, if you have it, like, I used to, like, listen to her first stuff, like, when she first started coming out with mixtapes and stuff like that, and you could just see, she was just raw. It don't get no more just raw than that. Remy Ma.
So, my last question before we get into this, little freestyle is, if you could collab with anybody and create a song, produce a song, who would it be and why?
That's a hard one. Because there's not a whole lot of people I want to collab with. I would have to say Drake. And that's because I feel like we could probably vibe together and come up with something real dope. Like, I like what he does musically. I think he's extremely talented and creative. And I feel like we could probably come up with something real dope.
I guess I'm going to just play the music, and then you just freestyle into the mic. You ready?
Yeah, you got it. There you go. All right. Yeah. Hey. Took the gambit approach, trick up the old sleeve, smoking aces from afar like Taraji P. Killing niggas, I don't offer condolence or prayer. Bitch, I'm a beast, my rolls don't have a pedal to spare. I ain't vote for Pedro, but I often keep the llama fed. A slight Napoleon dynamite complex, never made false claims about being a thoroughbred. Couple screws loose though, diagnosed with Phillips head. Beef is not an option, I'm a prophet with this wooden staff. I spit fire and destroy your little golden calf. Heir to the throne of the high life, no Miller draft. Lyrically, I'm Lil Nicky with the silver flask. Sipping the Molotov cocktail with a book of matches and a stomach full of shrapnel. Remain a mystery to those who think they know me that well. I'm the shit in case you couldn't recognize that smell. Can you feel my energy? Can you feel my energy? You can see my image when I'm spitting this calligraphy. Expert at logistics, you can tell by my delivery. This is the beginning of an epic MP trilogy.
Let me tell y'all, this was so unplanned. Like, I literally 30 seconds before we started filming, I'm like, I'm gonna just play a beat and let you freestyle. She ain't never heard this beat before. She ain't know what the hell I was about to play.
I ain't know nothing.
Woo! The booth is on fire. That shit was hot. Damn. Seriously though.
All right.
If you could open up a show, like be an opening act for, any artist, who would it be and why?
It would have to be J. Cole. Because he's such a big staple in North Carolina, and opening up for him would be an honor. Not only because he's a staple in North Carolina, but because I'm a big fan of him as well.
Right.
I meant to say his name earlier. I love J. Cole.
Yeah, he's
J. Cole.
dope. Shout out J. Cole.
Yeah, shout out to J. Cole. I'm a big fan of his.
Oh, wait, how'd I do it?
Just do the noise. We know what that means, but
right.
yeah, for him, for sure.
Okay. So what's next for you? Like, what big things or what things can you tell us do you have coming for you?
Big things. I learned a lot from my mistakes, so this time it's going to be a lot different. I plan on launching a huge PR for these couple of songs that I'm about to drop on March 24th. They're going to be on all platforms, Google, iTunes, Spotify. So once that drops, you could definitely check out Iamlockstarr.com for those dates. And when they release, they'll be released there. You can, pick them up from there. But I want to drop some music. I want to expand my fan base a little bit and just start doing more shows, getting the face connected to the name. Because I've been doing this shit for a long time. I just been doing it from the four walls of my house. And it don't work like that. Right. You got to get out there. You got to get your name and face, your face recognition with your brand so that people know who you are. So that's what's on the agenda for me.
I expect big things from you, especially in 2020. Yeah. 2020 is definitely a major year.
It's the decade of the female right now. Females
it's
is killing shit right
Women's
now.
Month. Shout out to us.
Yes.
Came in here, trying to set the booth on fire. You see my edges gone. She done blew my edges off. I mean, damn, like, what's up? So, what's one thing that if you could, you would change about the music industry? Whether it's the stigma behind it, whether it's how businesses ran, whether it's, the deceit within contracts and record labels, like, what would be one thing that you would change?
The only thing I would want to change in the music business, I want artists to realize that they don't need the fucking labels. They need to start cutting off their independence with the labels and start doing shit on their own because we got the power, we got the tools to do it. The less dependent they become on the labels, the more they can do shit. Because it's the labels that stop the albums, that stops the creativity, that stifles it, that shapes it into something that it probably wasn't at first. You know what I'm saying? They do that. They do everything for the purposes of marketing and promotion.
Right.
They don't let the artist be the artist. So if we can just cut that shit and just try to do it ourselves, become the Sonys, become the Interscopes, then I think that would put us in a totally different spot, on a totally different platform.